you will keep in mind that ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified people for your job and actively invites them to apply.
Scott, is that you? Who are you talking to?
82% of you will also know that I live with. The most important thing to note is that ZipRecruiter works. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Will you be part of the 82% who remember where you can try ZipRecruiter for free? It's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Again, that exclusive link is ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Yes, radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 51 degrees at 9:04. Good morning. I'm Mike Percha. Police responded to a shooting in Saginaw this morning. The incident took place in the 1400 block of South Park Avenue near Remington around 2 o'clock. Saginaw City and police are investigating. There are no other details. The Saginaw Japanese Cultural Center will be investing $300,000 to expand its facilities. WSGW's Rick Antonio has this report.
The 2 planned additions include a new multi-purpose classroom with artifact storage and restroom accessibility, and a pavilion which can be used for weddings, graduations, and other public events at the Tea House. Cultural Center board member Les Tinknell says that anyone worrying about the beauty at the Tea House being conserved can rest easy since the addition will be a separate utility building.
Located at the bottom of the hill as you come down the walkway from the parking lot. So it doesn't interfere with or try to compete with the tea house. The tea house is a gem and we do not want to compete against it. It's a utility building and it's very, very modest in scale.
The $300,000 raised will cover design and construction costs, but City Manager Tim Morales says once work is completed, the buildings will join the rest of the Cultural Center as city property, including any long-term costs. Rick Antonio, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
2 Thumb area businesses are out of about $100,000 each after being scammed. The businesses located in Huron and Tuscola counties were sent emails from organizations which appeared legitimate, including a fertilizer company and the Michigan Department of Treasury. State police investigating the frauds say the emails appeared to be invoices which the businesses paid, only realizing they were fake after sending out the money. Police say any businesses or residents receiving an email asking for money should first find the contact info of the organization on the internet and not rely on the information. Call the organization directly to ask whether or not any money is owed before sending out a check or money order. Central Michigan University is resuming international study programs following their absence during the pandemic. The program will start up again in the spring semester of next year. Programs will be based on available data regarding each country's COVID-19 status, like vaccination rates, travel requirements, and access to health care. Any student waiting to study abroad will need to be fully vaccinated to do so. Currently, there are no specific programs lined up, but CMU officials are working to make the program a reality. For more information, search for the Office of Global Engagement on the CMU website. W News Time 9:07.
It's on. Greenstone Farm Credit Services interest rate special is here. Now through the end of the year, you can plug into a great short-term rate on select new loans with Greenstone. If you're considering financing this fall for real estate, equipment, or other farm purchases, don't wait. Contact your local Greenstone team today. They're on hand to discuss your lending needs and help you secure the loan option that's right for you. For terms and conditions, or to learn more, visit greenstonefcs.com.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do. But you start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh and Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
WSGW News Time 9:08. The weather forecast is next. A man who admitted to killing his ex-girlfriend in Wexford County will spend 55 to 90 years behind bars. Alex Messler pleaded guilty to second-degree murder just days before his trial was set to begin. murder was dropped. Mesler pleaded guilty to killing Angela Admazian at her home in Buckley in June 2020. The county prosecutor says it was Mesler's fourth habitual offense and second against Admazian. A new program called Bring Your Own Charger from Consumers Energy is rewarding owners and future owners of electric vehicles for charging at home by saving them money. Here's more from Michael Cohen.
All Consumers customers who own electric vehicles will be eligible no matter whether the owner buys the charger or receives it with their car purchase. Consumers says the program allows drivers to enjoy up to 4,600 miles of free by earning a monthly $10 incentive. To enroll in the program, you'll need an active Consumers Energy residential account, charge your electric vehicle using a level 2 charger or 240-volt charging cable, charge overnight on weekdays between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m., and charge any time during weekends.
Former legislative leader Tom Leonard has announced his candidacy for Michigan Attorney General. He is seeking the Republican nomination he won in 2018 before losing to a Democrat, Dana Nessel, in the general election. Leonard, a DeWitt lawyer, is the third candidate to enter the GOP field. Republicans will later endorse and form at conventions next year. The announcement came about a week after the former president endorsed attorney Matthew DePerno, who filed a lawsuit claiming election fraud in Antrim County. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 910. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Mostly sunny here across the area today. We'll see a high topping off at around 69. As we head into tonight, look for clear skies. Lows around 48, turning sunny once again for your Wednesday. 33. On Thursday, blue skies and sunshine across the region. Highs top off in the upper 60s, staying sunny here for the end of the work week on Friday, and a high near 71. Finally, on Saturday, isolated showers possible late, partly sunny, highs in the lower 70s. I'm Derek Dolman with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Right now, it's 50.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 190 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Well, good morning to you, and welcome. Welcome to another edition of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. It is Tuesday morning. Later on, open phones, and at 11 o'clock, we're going to talk about Pit and Balcony on Focus. But for now, we're going to start out talking about the world of business with the president of the Saginaw County Chamber of Commerce. We say good morning to Veronica Horn. Morning, Veronica.
How are you?
Doing well, doing well.
Good. Can you hear me okay?
Got you fine. And still doing it from home. You're going in though to work, aren't you?
I am. We are back in first, and we're, taking precautionary measures. We have COVID protocols in place, and so we have a hybrid for our board meetings and any of our larger meetings where they have the option to Zoom in. But many of them want to be in person.
Well, I think we all would like that. I mean, it's Zooming was fine, but there's nothing like being with people and sitting down with people and seeing them face to face. Yeah,
so much better.
Yeah. So I guess we'll start out with what's new at the chamber. Anything going on that's of critical importance these days?
Well, there always is.
I know that.
Locally, we are still working on our efforts for transformational project here in downtown Saginaw, making it more medical focused, medical manufacturing, doctors, all of that, education. We're working on getting some of the ARPA dollars, the American Rescue Plan dollars, focused on restructuring, like shoring up the riverfront for development and just infrastructure dollars. So that's one of our local focuses. But the big news, I mean, today, I think some of your listeners will read in the papers that Ford announced spending $11.4 billion on 4 new plants. And guess what? Everywhere but Michigan, Tennessee,
and Kentucky.
You know, their reasons are varied, but a couple that stick out to me are they were offered a $410 million incentive package from the state of Tennessee. In Kentucky. You know, we have nothing. Michigan offers nothing. We have gotten rid of all of our incentive packages, and it is bearing out our fears that the reality of life.
If I remember right, when we did that, the notion was that we would lower taxes and that all things would be equal because we would adjust the load that's placed on corporations coming into the state, and that it would be equal. I guess that has not worked out, has it?
It has not. And, you know, I mean, there are a couple of things. Economic, we need incentives that, like a research, and that will help us retain investments. Companies like Nextier that are doing research and development. This project, this is all the future, electrification. And until we give a focus and a reason for them to stay here, they're not going to be here. And these other states continue to offer incentives. We are supporting legislation. It's Senate Bill 615 that will offer incentives for these large investments back into Michigan. We're hoping it's going to Thursday, one of the first hearings. So we'll be supporting that effort. You know, this was 11,000 new jobs that went to between Kentucky and Tennessee.
Yep.
11,000. You know, and those are very, you know, great paying jobs with benefits, and you know, we need them in Michigan certainly. We're still at % overall unemployment rate, but in the urban cores, it's always much higher.
Yeah.
So these are the kinds of investments that we could easily plug people in. You know, right now we have a bus that goes out to Elkton to take drivers from Saginaw out to Elkton for a job. You know, we need those people in Saginaw County and in this Great Lakes Bay region. There are lots of openings. So anyway, I'm kind of digressing. It all plays on one another, but we're really supporting this legislation for an R&D tax credit.
Any
sense
that the governor would support it?
I don't know at this point. I would hope so. I mean, this is a pretty big announcement here today, so it should be a wake-up to the administration. But I believe that she'll be supportive. I know she's listening. Not today, but you know, she is listening to the legislators about this. But maybe she is listening.
Who knows?
Good morning, Governor.
There you go.
One of the other big reasons that this project did not land in Michigan were energy costs. Much like Hemlock Semiconductor, these manufacturing facilities, I mean, battery technology takes lots of energy. So we are still considered an affordable area, although I think there are those that would question it. But, you know, we're competing against the Tennessee Valley Authority,
right,
which is a federally subsidized. So you and I are subsidizing low energy costs in the South,
right,
in that Tennessee Valley Authority.
So we're competing
against ourselves.
We're
paying for it.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room with these projects, though. You can't go anywhere without seeing a help wanted sign. Where do we get the labor?
Yeah. Well, where will Kentucky and Tennessee get the labor? They're looking for skilled labor. There will be more people leaving Michigan for those jobs.
Yeah.
So, you know, if Michigan had landed this, we will get that labor. They'll follow the jobs. I mean, back in the day, the people moved from the South up to Michigan. That's where we got our labor force. And I think the same will hold true that folks from Wisconsin, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Michigan will be headed that way for these jobs.
What do we, what's the answer? It's one thing to talk about these big factories and well-paying, benefited jobs. What do you tell the mom and pop operators in Saginaw who can't find the help they need to keep the doors open?
Well, we're working on that. We do have the Chamber is working with Saginaw Future on a talent attraction retention. My whole angle on it is, certainly we want to recruit, but let's home grow our talent. We need to reach out to our young people in middle school and in high school now. We need to show them the offerings that are in this region and home grow our talent. Teach them that they can have a job that pays with benefits, pays as much as I'll call it a Detroit job or a city job, but have a better quality of life, still have. In this region, you can be in Detroit in, 90 minutes to an hour and a half, depending on where in the region you live. And so still hit the Fox Theater and Detroit Tigers, and I'm not even going to say the Lions, but the Tigers, or the Pistons, Red Wings, but live in an area with a wonderful quality of life. We have fabulous universities in this region. We have Central Michigan, we have Saginaw Valley, we have Delta College, Northwood, Davenport. We've got quite a number of options for kids, but when they come out of college or skilled trades, we want to keep them here.
Yeah.
So it's never going to happen overnight. Even if COVID hadn't hit, the one thing COVID did was it just highlighted, it exacerbated this drop in labor that we were going to see. Boomers are retiring, by the thousands every day. And people weren't having more than one or two kids, but, by and large. So there was already going to be a gap. When we locked down because of COVID, a lot of people left their jobs. A lot of women particularly dropped out of the workforce because they had to be home with their kids.
Right.
And so the whole COVID thing and the arguments going on today about whether we do remote distant learning or in person, all of this, it affects the number of people in the workforce. If they don't have great daycare or they have to be home while their kids are learning, that of workers that we've lost in the workforce.
All right, Veronica, hang on. I got to take a break. We'll come back with another segment. We're talking to Veronica Horn, president of the Saginaw County Chamber of Commerce. More ahead on the Art Lewis Show after these notes.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Attorney Joe Cordell. New school, new job, new home. Change it. Feeling isolated, and divorce delivers one of life's hardest blows. The relationships you counted on are suddenly gone, but you don't have to walk through this alone. For more than 30 years, Cordell & Cordell has guided men through the challenges of divorce. You're not alone. Call Cordell & Cordell.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
I'm Liz Clayman, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The Securities and Exchange Commission is cracking down on how some companies are launching their stock by merging with shell companies. The SEC wants more information. This acquisition companies. Reuters says top auditors of the SPACs have been notified. Amazon will be defending its firing of 2 workers in Washington state. Local branch of the United Food and Commercial Workers Union claims Amazon violated federal labor laws in firing 2 employees who were critical of the company early in the pandemic. Ferrari has hired former Apple designer Joni Ive. Ive's design company Love From has a multi-year deal with the car company as it prepares to go fully electric. Ive is credited with the launch of multiple Apple devices. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Coselda, invested in you.
Cleanliness and safety are essential to the success of any business. That's why Cintas has introduced our Total Clean program, a one-of-a-kind service that includes scheduled deliveries of essential cleaning supplies, hygienically cleaned uniforms, and on-site sanitizer and disinfectant services to help eliminate germs. Learn what the Cintas Total Clean program can do for you.
Oh, I'm ready!
Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and pod. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robbins show.
Just to be safe, Biden should ban pommel horses too.
And My Little Ponies. And whip them good.
Yes. Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
And we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show on this Tuesday morning, talking to Veronica Horn, president of the Saginaw County Chamber of Commerce. Veronica, explain to everyone the synergy between the Saginaw Chamber, the CVB, and Saginaw Future.
A frequently asked question. So in full disclosure, there are three separate organizations. We all do something a little bit different, but all in, it does all, everything affects everything. I happen to be blessed with three sisters, two of whom lead their organizations, and I lead the chamber. My sister, Joanne Creary, leads Saginaw Future, which is our economic development organization for the Great Lakes Bay region. And then another sister leads the Great Lakes Bay Regional Convention and Visitors Bureau. And I'll start with the CVB. You're very familiar with it, having served many years on the Saginaw County Convention and Visitors Bureau board. When Annette came to run the Saginaw County Convention and Visitors Bureau, all the leadership in Saginaw saw the wisdom in having one regional chamber CVB president. It was at a time when all three presidents of those Bay, Midland, and Saginaw CVB were retiring. And so they have three separate boards. We have three separate focuses on attracting people, but one CEO, and that's Annette. So she has done just an organization, helping to draw. She did a SWOT analysis, of course, to see what our strengths or weaknesses were in this region. We know we're never going to get the Las Vegas type conventions, but there are many in the mid-sized, conferences and conventions and tourists that want to come to this region. It's a very inexpensive, reasonable place to vacation with your family, again, with all the amenities, wonderful hotels, wonderful dining in all three communities. So that's her focus. It's also on sports marketing, and I know many of your listeners spend the weekend traveling with their kids all over the country or all over the Midwest to take them to soccer tournaments or softball tournaments. Well, we're in that arena now with a focus on soccer. We had a national bowling. A lot of people laughed at it when we got it, and you know what Annie says? That's money coming into this region. It was a lot of money coming into the region. Hotel rooms were filled. People were dining out. So those are the types of things that she's going after, and she's done just a remarkable job. So you have more of a cohesiveness of the communities as well, because it is one CEO with an overall vision for the region. Saginaw Future has a different IRS status than the chamber. They're a 501c3, which means they cannot lobby, they cannot ask, do a lot of legislative stuff.
Right.
But in trying to obtain and expand existing business, attract new business, many times that takes legislation, just like what I said, we need an R&D credit. The chamber has a 501c3, but we also are a 501c6, which allows us to lobby to work on legislation. So when either of those other organizations need that done, they turn to the chamber and say, will you partner with us? And so and obviously we are a business member organization, and looking to help create a healthy economic atmosphere in this region. So you'll find us on the ground in Lansing working with our partner chambers saying, hey, this is good for the state of Michigan. It's particularly good for our region. And our chamber also, and the economic developers and obviously the CVB, but the economic developer presidents, Joanne, Trevor, and Tony Stamas at Midland Business Alliance work very closely together on business attraction and retention. So, but in our chambers work together, we have shared legislative policies, but we have more freedom to go after and lobby legislators and say, listen, governor, listen, senators and reps, this is good legislation for us, and here's why. So that's kind of the synergy, but we really do, we're in the heart of all of it to some extent, but we are separate organizations with separate, vision and mission statements.
Separate boards too.
Correct, separate boards, of course. Even Annie, as you know, has three different boards of directors. So she has 3 board meetings a month, one with Bay, one with Midland, one with Saginaw.
Yeah. Well, that's my favorite organization. Of course, yours too. You understand that. Yeah. But I have a soft spot in my heart for the CVB, having been in the travel industry for a long time and having chaired it for 4 years. But it was a contentious time because of the executives we had in place that couldn't get along. Regionalization was, nice word, but nothing happened. And I was glad to see all the changes that took place, because I think that's good for everybody.
It really was, and it's one thing, the jobs are not about us. They're about the community, and it's a community that we loved. I mean, we grew up in a small town outside of Saginaw, but we were here all the time. We did our shopping here. We did everything in Saginaw. We had an uncle that was a priest in Saginaw, would come in to all the Mexican festivals and work. And so it's how we grew up, not living here, but we were a part of this community since we were very young, and our parents taught us to give back. And so that's our focus, is making this a better place for our kids, our grandkids, and your kids and grandkids to live in and work. It's a wonderful place. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
No, it grows on you. There's no doubt about it. I mean, we've chosen to live here. We came out of New York City and actually moved away for a year and came back. It is, sometimes, you don't see the trees for the forest and all that, but it has a lot to offer. It has a lot to offer, a lot of great people in this area, and certainly a lot of opportunity. But you have to take advantage of it.
Strong legacy families in this region that have learned, we experienced the tough times well before Detroit, 20 years before Detroit, because Saginaw, they say we're a market more for second tier manufacturing.
Right.
And so when that started to go away, that went away before the big 3 really started making their cuts. So we're used to adversity, but our whole history, going back to fur trading, to logging, then into automotive manufacturing, still manufacturing, but high tech, medical, certainly. We are a regional hub for medical, and we value that. We recognize it, and we want to help build on that.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the shift when you talk about the logging era and the automotive era. I think in Saginaw anyway, and in the Great Lakes Bay region, we can now talk about the medical era.
Absolutely, and we should never minimize the importance of our ag industry, because that is so high tech. Agribusiness is critical in this region. We are so blessed to have the variety, so smart, because they know how to grow just an immense variety of crops. But beans, sugar beets, white winter wheat. White winter wheat can't be grown anywhere here. I believe in Buffalo, maybe New York, but that's it. So virtually everything that goes into a cereal comes from our agribusiness, Star of the West. Michigan Sugar just announced a huge
investment
that will garner just about all the sugar out of a sugar beet. So it's really 60% more, I believe. And so these are tremendous investments that we can boast in the Great Lakes Bay region.
And let's not forget our friends at Dow and now Corteva and DuPont.
Never, Dow is just amazing. They are philanthropic. They are global. They could be anywhere, and they're here. So we appreciate our Dow chemicals. So it's companies that have spun off, with DuPont coming in. We have Hemlock Semiconductor. We have Corteva, which is the ag arm of that. I mean, they're independent companies, but they all spun off from Dow.
Yep. And we're blessed, a lot has to do with leadership, top-down leadership. And Dow, in my opinion, has one of the best in Jim Fitterling.
Jim is amazing. He is so real and so committed to the community and so committed to equality. And that it's a time that we've entered. And I mean, I will say this, the Saginaw County Chamber of Commerce, and so does Bay, so does Midland Business Alliance. We have a very sharp top priority to diversify our chamber boards and our chamber membership. We need minority businesses to belong, because these communities are going to sink or swim together. And so we are becoming more welcoming. Our boards are diversifying. We need to look like the community and respond to those needs. And, minority businesses have sometimes unique problems accessing capital, just getting through a system. Simply because you're an entrepreneur and have a great idea for a job doesn't mean it's going to be successful. You still have to learn the system. And so we're working through ways that we can help minority businesses plug into the Small Business Technology Development Center, which is located at Saginaw Valley State University. Saginaw Future that has a federal, work with the government procurement person. And so they can connect them to perhaps sell to the government,
right,
whether it's local all the way up to federal. So there are things that we can help with, but we have a very keen focus on helping all of our member businesses be successful.
Well, look, I know you're going from one meeting to the next. That seems to be your life these days. So we'll let you go this morning. But Veronica, thanks for spending a little time with us this morning. We appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you so much, Art. Thank you to your listeners.
Have a good one. Take care.
You too.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Veronica Horn, she is the president of the Saginaw County Chamber of Commerce. That will now allow us to open up our lines for the remainder of the program right up through 11 o'clock. So if there's anything you'd like to chat about, Saginaw, Bay City, 752-6111. Toll free, 866-790-WSGW. We would love to talk to you. And we've got a number of things to bring up too. We will do that right after these notes.
In a world that's a little simpler comes the tale of Veltima fungicide. Swift, simple, and secure. It's a corn-growing story without all the drama. You add totally epic music, really random sound effects, and a cool announcer guy. Get ready for the blockbuster yields of the summer with Veltima fungicide from BASF. Coming soon to a field near you. Always read and follow label directions.
This season, there's a new choice for your fields. Zetavo soybean seed, designed with triple stacked Enlist E3 technology for weed control flexibility. Supported by a dedicated team of BASF agronomic experts. Protected by the versatile BASF soybean crop protection portfolio. Zetavo soybean seed, stacked in your favor. MS Technologies, distributed exclusively by BASF. Always read and follow label directions.
Michigan Wolverines football is on WSGW.
Give it to Haskins. Left guard. That's on Haskins. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Michigan. Langen gets it. Then he doesn't get it. He stops short. It'll be Michigan taking over. And he will be stopped. He fumbles. It's picked up by Colson. And that should do it.
Michigan prevailed in its Big Ten opener to remain undefeated. But the first road test awaits for the number 14 Wolverines, who visit the Wisconsin Badgers this Saturday with coverage starting at 11 a.m. on 790 News Radio WSGW. Kickoff in football is brought to you by Forward Energy, Lingle Equipment Company in Saginaw, Schaefer Beer Line, Ram Truck in Frankenmuth, Big E Sports Grill, and Wolf Files Ace Hardware in Saginaw. Michigan visits Wisconsin live this Saturday morning at 11 on 790 News Radio WSGW.
It's Michigan football all season long on WSGW. This is a test. WSGW is conducting a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test. This is a test of the emergency alert system on WSGW. Equipment that can quickly warn you during emergencies is being tested. WSGW serves Saginaw, Bay, and Midland counties, along with the surrounding area. This concludes this test of the emergency alert system on WSGW. WSGW recognized as a media market finalist for the most prestigious award in radio, the Marconi Award. Only 5 media market stations in the entire country are named as finalists. On October 13th in Las Vegas, only one is honored as the best, the Marconi Award, named after the father of what we know today as radio. WSGW shares this honor with you, our loyal family of radio listeners. You are a Marconi Award finalist with WSGW. You're in the Stone Specialist Studios. This is 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
And we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show. Open phones for the remainder of the program, and we're going to begin. Susan is in Bay City. Susan, good morning.
Art,
Morning.
I'm just wondering how many of the listeners caught President Trump with his Georgia address there. That was pretty great. It was on Newsmax and it was on OWN too, where he actually had touched on something I had read in the paper about the indictment on Sussman. And the fact of the matter is where they went back to on this indictment on that Sussman.
Whoa. You mean indictment?
Yeah, indictment.
Okay.
Where Hillary mad and angry when President Trump won that primary, that she basically hired all these top tech people and told them she wanted a conspiracy against Trump. And she said, pull out every dirty trick in our bags of dirty tricks. I want everyone thrown at him for years to come. And that's what they did. The Russian conspiracy, everything that they plastered the news with, and they got the media on board. And it states all the people that were involved in that Hillary basically had on her payroll.
Well, it all may be true, but mark my words, nothing will come of it.
Oh, absolutely, because they have the Department of they have all the judges. They have
They don't have all the judges. They do not have all the judges.
But
They're not even close.
Yeah. And you know, the American people realize that this conspiracy took place. And it's the same thing as the conspiracy that basically Biden won. Everybody doesn't like to talk about that.
Well, you could listen. Here's the bottom line, Susan. This is the bottom line. Biden is president, whether we like it or not.
Absolutely.
We know there were dirty tricks in the Clinton administration and Hillary. And it will be left to the history books and history to decide, because absolutely nothing will come of it. The election is not going to be reversed. They did that big study in Arizona and they ended up with more votes for Biden and that was Republican bought.
If you went back and watched everything that I've watched, though, with
Yeah,
they
but you-
didn't- the Biden thing did not win with more votes. They say overall because of the fact of the matter. Oh, the machines just started registering Biden, 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 Biden.
Well, okay. Listen, Susan, you know,
They were totally fabricated votes.
don't lose any sleep over it because it's not going to change. It's,
The only thing I hope is changing here was that if enough people learn of this and that all the campaign, all the stuff that they're doing for voter integrity, I hope it really, I hope everybody starts to get on the bandwagon. And
well, here's okay. Let's talk about reality. All right.
Yes.
75 million people who voted for Trump believe everything you just said. The other 80 million do not, and you're not going to change their minds. Neither am I. Neither are any of the news stories. It's reality, and we have to live with it. We have to be diligent in the future.
Yes, that's my point.
But you're not going to get these people to agree with you. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, we'll never have an honest election. And the other
Well,
thing is,
I don't carry it that far.
well, I hope I'm wrong. I'm really hoping I'm wrong on that because I mean we're just going to have the left shoved down our throats, and they're going everything that America has ever stood for. Number one, freedom. The only other thing I wanted to run up the flagpole now is the fact that I'm worried about all the people that got vaccinated. For the fact, hear me out on this, they are being very careless. They're not wearing masks. They feel that they're invincible because they got vaccinated. And the Delta variant now is the only thing that's out there. And that vaccine does not, protect them against the Delta variant.
No, that's not true. It does protect them for the most part, but there are always going to be those breakthroughs that do come down with it, even if they're vaccinated. But they are a very, very small percentage, infinitesimal. So,
Just me, I know of 3 people that got
well,
vaccinated.
that's incidental compared to the millions and millions of people who are vaccinated and did not come down with it and won't come down with it. So we got to be a little careful of that.
Yeah, you have to be careful. Everybody has to be careful
Yeah.
of this and still try to wear their masks and social distance and stuff. Unfortunately, because if we get rid of one variant, we're going to get another variant.
Yeah.
And so I don't care what vaccine they come out with and how many vaccines they pump into everyone. It's not going to get rid of this. It's not going.
Well, I think the medical industry would probably disagree with you, but listen. The reality is that these kinds of viruses do mutate, and they do find ways around vaccines and things of that nature. Fortunately, I think we're in a reasonable position to beat them to the punch in the future. I would believe, and this is just me talking, and I'm not an expert, but I would believe that by the end of this year, I would think that the COVID-19 will be treated just like any other flu or illness. I think it's going to wane. I think it's run its course.
They never cured the common cold. So
yeah, well, that's true. That's probably, all right, Susan. Take care. Bye now. All right, Saginaw Bay City 752-6111 toll free 866-790 WSGW inside the state of Michigan. Outside the state 752-6111 989 area code. There you go.
Consumers Energy is making big changes to bring clean energy to Michigan, like turning to solar and wind power. Free, but we can't do it alone. We need everyone to join us by making small changes, like installing LED light bulbs, smart thermostats, and joining our clean energy programs. With your help, we can create a better future for Michigan. Together, we can become a force of change. Learn how at consumersenergy.com/change.
If you've got a small business, you know there's nothing more valuable than your time. So why waste it at the post office? Stamps.com makes it easy to mail and ship right from your computer. No special equipment required. Whether you're an office sending invoices, a side hustle Etsy shop, or a full-blown warehouse shipping out orders, Stamps life easier. You'll even get exclusive discounts on postage and shipping from USPS and UPS. And their new Rate Advisor tool lets you compare shipping rates across carriers so you always find the best option. Save time and money with Stamps.com. There's no risk, and when you go to Stamps.com and use offer code FOCUS, you'll receive a 4-week free trial plus free postage and a digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com. Click on the microphone at the top and enter code FOCUS. That's Stamps.com, promo code FOCUS. Stamps.com. Never go to the post office again.
Rocket Grab. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for the Frankenmuth Corn Maze. You are going to get a family pack for only $18. It's usually $36, but you are getting it half off. The family pack covers 2 adults and 2 children for entry. The Frankenmuth Corn Maze is open from September 24th through October 31st. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now and snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
The WSGW Morning Team Show.
WSW online poll, vaccinations and your younger children. Pfizer just making the recent announcement indicating its COVID-19 vaccine a robust immune response in a clinical trial of kids aged including more than 2,200 children, to be submitted to the Food and Drug Administration and other health regulators as soon as possible. Approval is expected, just don't know when. Poll question, though, what are your plans for your 5 to 11-year-old children once this vaccine is approved? Will you have your children vaccinated immediately? Will you wait for more data after the vaccine is available, but eventually do plan to have your children vaccinated? Or do not plan to have your children vaccinated at this time? Your decision is now for what you're doing with your younger children. You want to know what you're going to do? By going to the WSW online poll box. You just scroll down the homepage, find that poll box. So that way.
The Morning Team Show, weekdays 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
Right base hitting to left center. Running third, heading home is Nico Goodrum. Castro on his way to third, and he will make it easily down to second. Goes Akil Baddoo, and the Tigers take a 1-0 lead.
The Tigers play 7:20 tonight on 790 News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. And I want to bring up an unhappy subject. You've been, I'm sure, to the grocery store lately. Matter of fact, I heard Dave Maurer talk about it this morning. The price of turkey. A 19-pound bird was going to be something like $57. It was $2.84 a pound. You do remember the days of 79-cent a pound birds or less. That's just an example. If you go to the grocery store, you look at the prices on the shelves, you're going to be in for sticker shock. Cisco, one of the giant food distributors, particularly to restaurants and others, they indicated, and they are the nation's largest food distributor. They said food inflation on its most recent quarterly report was 10.2%. Now, those increases are passed along to restaurants and others in the supply chain. And then guess what happens? They get passed on to you. So if you go into a restaurant and you see higher prices, don't be surprised because their food costs are way up. If you go to a grocery store and $100 used to fill maybe 3 or 4 bags of groceries, maybe you won't get 2 or 2.5 bags of groceries out of it now. Prices have skyrocketed in almost every category. And the word is it's going to stay that way through the holidays, and that there may be some relief in sight toward the end of the year. And it's not just food. It's almost everything. There are supply chain issues everywhere. There are ships stuck out in the ocean waiting to get into ports throughout the United States. There are labor shortages everywhere. The pandemic closed factories for a long time. Ask the auto manufacturers, where are their chips? So you might as well accept the fact because you're not going to change it. It's going to cost you more, which means that those at the lower income levels are really going to be feeling the pinch. Because when they barely could afford food before, now they're going to have difficulty buying everything they need. And I mean, it's almost a perfect storm. All these major issues coming at us at one time. Got the immigration problems at the southern border. We have the economy and the cost of living. We have Washington not able to get along with itself. And on and on and on. And we sit here suffering. We're the people that feel it. The lower and middle class in this country really feel the pinch. And, you know, what's the poverty line going to be? At one time, I seem to remember it was like $17,000 a year, and then it went up into the 20s. With prices going up the way they're going up, the poverty line could be in the 30s. This is a very difficult time, and I don't see Washington solving the problem. Not at all. They can't seem to get their act together on the big issues. Many of those issues would help the country. Then you've got the issue of the debt. How much can we afford to give away as a country? This is a very, very trying time for us. And we're feeling it. You know, you used to get up and you say to yourself, I put my pants or my dress on in the morning. What they do in Washington doesn't bother me, you know. Guess what? Now it's bothering you. Pay attention. Because what goes on or what doesn't go on is affecting you and will continue to affect you for quite some time to come. So be prepared. Sit down and figure out your money, how much you're going to have to allocate, how you may change your lifestyle. Maybe you'll be eating foods of a different kind. Instead of steak, it might be chopsteak. Time will tell. All right, we're going to take our last break for this hour. Next hour will be open phones, a lot to talk about, and we will do that right after these notes.
Compromise is nice if you're at the playground or scouring yard sales. But farmers know better that middle grounds have no winner. That's why there's Revitec fungicide, fast-acting and long-lasting, preventative and curative, disease control and stress reduction. So leave the settling to little Tommy at the seesaw, an old bargain bill, and take your full prize in yields with Revitec fungicide for uncompromised performance. Always read and follow label directions.
Attorney Joe Cordell. New school, new job, new home. Change is hard and can leave you feeling isolated. And divorce delivers one of life's hardest blows. The relationships you counted on are suddenly gone. But you don't have to walk through this alone. For more than 30 years, Cordell & Cordell has guided men through the challenges of divorce. You're not alone. Call Cordell & Cordell. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
Your home for the Tigers is WSGW.
3-for-3 night for Miguel Cabrera. First pitch to Miguel, make it 4 for 4. Ground ball singled into center field. 4 for 4 for Miguel Cabrera.
All he's doing now is just getting knocked after knock.
Tigers Baseball, brought to you in part by
Ed Raymond and Sons in downtown Chesaning.
Woolfiles Ace Hardware in Saginaw.
Schaefer and Beer Line in Frankenmuth.
Your home for Detroit Tigers baseball is WSGW. Saginaw Valley State University football is on WSGW.
It's deflected and caught by Johnson Mack. Touchdown, Saginaw Valley.
The SVSU Cardinals got back to their winning ways by blowing out Wayne State 41-21. Now the Cards return home to host rival Grand Valley State in the Battle of the Valleys. Live Saturday afternoon at 1:30 on 100.5 News Radio WSGW. SVSU football is brought to you by Forward Energy and United Financial Credit Union.
Saginaw Valley State University football is on WSGW.
Can we dream of a world without Alzheimer's and other dementia? You can help raise awareness and funds for Alzheimer's care, support, and research by joining the Bay City Walk to End Alzheimer's on October 2nd. Register online at alz.org/walk.
All right, that'll wrap up this first hour. As we like to say in the business, it's in the can. Moving on to hour number 2, which will be open phones for the entire hour. And on Focus today, we're going to focus on Pit and Balcony in Saginaw. They have Murder on the Orient Express coming up. We'll tell you more about that on Focus. Stick around now for the news from CBS and, of course, the local news. After that, we'll be back to chat with you. Hour 2 of the Art Lewis Show. Talk to you after the news.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. 2 major hearings are just underway on Capitol Hill. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is speaking at one, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin at the other. Lawmakers on the Senate Armed Services Committee want to know more about the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan.
We all watched with alarm the images of Afghans rushing the runway in our aircraft. We all remember the scenes of confusion outside the airport. But within 48 hours, our troops restored order and process began to take hold.
Secretary Austin, ranking Republican James Inhofe, blames the administration for mistakes.
President Biden and his advisors didn't listen to his combat commander. He didn't listen to Congress, and he failed to anticipate what all of us knew would happen.
Joint Chiefs Chair Mark Milley standing by to answer questions as well. At the other hearing, Secretary Yellen is warning the Treasury could run out of money on October 18th unless Congress raises the federal debt ceiling. Republicans in the Senate a government funding bill that includes an increase in the borrowing cap. CBS's Ed O'Keefe.
President Biden and his advisors.
You'll likely see them pass a simple bill that says, let's keep the government open a few more weeks. We'll keep fighting over the borrowing limit.
This morning, Pfizer submitted the results of COVID vaccine trials on kids 5 to 11. It's hoping the FDA will approve them for emergency use in the weeks ahead. Vanderbilt University's Dr. William Schaffner is encouraged.
Antibody responses were just as good as in their older counterparts, and the safety profile was what you would expect. Some sore arms, but nothing much more than that.
A new study confirms smoking raises the risks associated with COVID. CBS's Vicki Barker.
The study found smokers who catch COVID are 60 to 80% more likely to end up hospitalized for the disease than non-smokers who get infected. The smokers were also more likely to die of COVID.
Just in from Atlanta, a man already sentenced to life in prison in the fatal shootings of 4 people at a spa in Fulton County has pleaded not guilty to shooting 4 others at different spas the same day. Oprah's just announced the latest selection for her book club, Bewilderment, about a widowed father and a planet in peril. Author Richard Powers tells CBS Mornings.
Also, I think an exploration of just how lucky and rich this world still is. And it's trying to tell a story about how we might find our way back to it.
The Dow down 246 points. This is CBS News.
Indeed helps find great hires fast. Indeed is your all-in-one platform for interviewing, screening, and hiring high-quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Come on, come in, let the fun begin.
.com, the one place you'll find exclusive games like Queen of Diamonds and Michigan Cash Draw, plus Powerball and Mega Millions that can reach $1 billion. Cash out online or at your favorite store, and all proceeds support Michigan schools and businesses. Get 100% match on your first deposit up to $100, plus free games. Sign up with promo code RADIO. Knowing your limits is always the best bet.
So play on, Michigan, 'cause we are.
For eligible individuals 18 or older only. Not available in Oregon or West Virginia. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With hearing aids from Lively, everything is done remotely in the comfort of your home, from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much.
You get premium Bluetooth-enabled hearing aids at thousands less than you might expect. The best hearing aid technology is now affordable and convenient. Your hearing aids are sent right to your door. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week. No charge.
Ah, you people at Lively are wonderful.
With Lively hearing aids, you get free shipping, 3 years of follow-up care included free, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage. You can't lose.
I hear better than I ever thought possible.
Now get $100 off your hearing aids when you go to listenlively.com/radio. That's listenlively.com/radio. listenlively.com/RAD.
Mutual Insurance Company presents. And Doug.
Don't you just love the smell of old books?
Shh, this is a library.
Sorry, ma'am. We're looking for a book titled Liberty Mutual Customizes Your Car Insurance so you only pay for what you need.
I don't think we carry that, but check nonfiction.
He really does devour literature.
Please leave.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom. USGW News.
Sunny skies and 55 degrees at 10:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Percha. Michigan State Police and Saginaw City Police responded to a shooting in Saginaw this morning. It was reported just after 2 o'clock in the 1400 block of South Park Avenue near Remington. Currently, there's no word yet on any injuries or suspects in the shooting. State police in Huron and Tuscola counties are looking into scams that cost two businesses about $100,000 apiece. Police say the businesses, which have not been identified, received emails from a legitimate appearance, including a fertilizer company and the Michigan Department of Treasury. The emails were invoices, which the businesses paid, only later learning the emails were fakes. Police remind residents and businesses to make sure to contact any organization by looking up their information online instead of relying on contact info provided in an email or letter. In Midland, Wheeler Street will be closed to through traffic from Butterfield Drive to the US 10 ramp today as crews prepare for road paving and concrete. During the closure, both east and westbound traffic will be detoured around the construction area using Waldo Avenue, East Avenue. Wheeler will be open to one-way eastbound local traffic for those traveling to or from a destination within the construction zone. Residents in neighborhoods to the south of Wheeler within the construction area should exit their neighborhoods using Congress Drive to Whitewood Drive, while those living to the north of Wheeler should use Foster Road to Brookfield Drive to Ardmore Street. Trotters Point residents should exit their neighborhood using Butterfield Drive to Hollyberry to Foster Road. Wheeler will and remain closed to westbound traffic by the end of today, weather permitting. The Wheeler Street reconstruction and water main replacement project is estimated to be completed sometime in October. WSGW News Time, 10:07.
This is Rachel from the SVRC Marketplace, located at 203 South Washington. Fall is officially here, and with chilly weather upon us, warm up inside with some of your American favorites, global flavors, sweet treats, and retail small businesses. Our fall offer fresh goodies, pumpkins galore. Our all-year-round indoor market still remains Saginaw's favorites. What's that you say? New businesses are coming. We welcome Cobb King and Bling & Jewels Boutique. Warm up inside the SVRC Marketplace. Open Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Join us for our SVRC Cornhole Fundraiser Tournament on October 9th. with a $500 first prize winner. And come for some free family fun to our annual Halloween event on October 29th. Check us out on our Facebook page. We thank you for the continued support of our small businesses. Remember to shop local, eat local, support small business, and we'll see you at the market.
WSGW News Time, 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. The State Police Computer Crimes Task Force has announced the arrest of 24-year-old Jason James Kenny of DeFord for possession of child sexually abusive material and using a computer to commit a crime. Kenny was arrested following an investigation where digital evidence was seized from his home. The investigation started when it was learned that Kenny accessed the materials on the internet. He's been charged with 25 counts of aggravated sexually abusive material and computer to commit a crime. The case of missing traveler Gabby Petito and her boyfriend Brian Laundrie and a Michigan case involving a man who allegedly pushed a woman out of a moving truck are once again putting a spotlight on intimate partner violence. Marcia Scott, Director of Counseling for Haven, says it can be hard to leave and preparing to separate can increase the chances of being harmed or killed or for the violence to escalate.
Many people will say safety is, just pick up and just leave, but it doesn't work that way. A safety plan has to be completed, whether that's they gather all their important documents, they have families in regards to if they're in extreme danger on how to stay safe.
Scott says being able to secure housing is also a factor in a survivor's decision to leave. Haven has a 24/7 crisis and support line, counseling, and other resources to help survivors and their loved ones. The number is 877-922-1274. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 1010. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Mostly sunny skies here for today with a high into the upper northeast winds around 5 to 10 miles per hour. And for tonight, partly cloudy sky conditions will see a low around 47. Wednesday, sunshine, a high of 72 degrees. Thursday, plenty of blue skies and sun with a high around 69. Friday, sunshine, a high of 71 degrees. And by Saturday, sunshine, a high around 73. Sunday, partial sunshine develops a high of 69. Monday, partly sunny, high of 65. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 54.
Now, the only local radio talk show. Ask your questions and express your opinions from around your world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
And a good morning to you. Welcome back to hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. And it is an open line hour. Whatever you'd like to talk about, all you have to do is give us a call. 752-6111, toll free 866-790, WSGW. Outside the state of Michigan, 989-752-6111. Love to talk to you about anything on your mind this morning. Talked about food prices at the end of last hour. How about something else that affects us pretty much every day? Mail delivery. Here's the headline on this particular story from the Detroit Free Press. USPS mail delivery is about to get permanently slower and temporarily more expensive. Not sure I believe the word temporarily, but anyway. As you know, Postal Service has slowed since the beginning of the pandemic anyway, that's for sure. And it's about to get even slower. Starting Friday, the Postal Service is going to implement what the Free Press says is new service standards for first-class mail and periodicals that from Kim from the USPS. It will be increased time in transit for mail traveling long distances, such as New York to California. Most first-class mail and periodicals will be unaffected according to the postal system because they travel shorter distances. Single-piece first-class mail traveling within the same region will still have a delivery time of 2 days, which is about what they have now. And that's standard-sized letters and flats. But the ones traveling further will take longer. The changes are part of the 10-year plan that Postmaster General Louis DeJoy announced back in March, I think it was. And there have been a lot of criticisms about the plan. But the plan is being implemented. Don't see much other than starting October 3rd, running through the day after Christmas. There will be temporary increases in prices on all commercial and retail domestic packages due to the holiday season and anticipated uptick in mail volume. Won't affect international. Well, as much as I don't want to pay more, I understand that. Because that falls under the same category as supply and demand. You know your demand is going to go up at the holidays. So is that any different than any company or, for example, gasoline going up because demand outstrips supply and you can charge more for your product? So I understand that. Probably should have been doing it for a long time. But the elephant in the room that we don't hear about very much right now is days of service. There were plans that they were going to deliver mail every other day. They're going to cut out Saturdays. There are all kinds of rumors about the mail and about mail delivery. Personally, I still think it's pretty impressive to put 50 cents or whatever the cost of postage is on an envelope, send a letter, and for the most part, 99.999% of the time, it gets where it's going in relatively short time. Now, I know you can all call me with the horror stories about packages you never got, letters that took years. I've heard them all. But the fact is, billions of pieces of mail traverse the system every day and get where they're going. So I think for the most part, the postal system does a fair job. The problem is we, the public, have gotten used to a certain level of service. We expect a certain standard from the postal system. And when they begin to lessen those standards and reduce their service, we notice. At the same time, we also notice the price of a stamp goes up. So we were spoiled. We have been spoiled by a very good system. Lots of hardworking people every day get up, go to work to make sure you get your mail. It's not an easy job. But again, we're used to a certain standard. And anytime they change that standard, we sit up and take notice and aren't happy about it. I don't know what the answer is. Do we need Saturday delivery? Do we need everyday delivery? Or could we learn to live without that? How much of a disruption of service or a reduction in service are you willing to live with your mail? And we all know the postal system has been impacted by technology. We text, we send emails, we do Facebook, we do all of those things online that we used to sit down and write somebody a personal note on a card and send it off. Now we pick up our phones and we text them a note. But I'll tell you what, there's nothing like receiving a personal note from someone, handwritten, stamp put on it. I'll give you an example, something I was impressed by. It happens to be someone who's pretty well known in the music world, particularly in the gospel world. And in this particular case, I got to meet this individual at a concert that was held here in Saginaw. And we struck up a conversation, and after the show, he wanted to talk to me, so we chatted for a while. But several days later, I got a note in the mail, handwritten, stamped and handwritten from Bill Gaither. He took the time to thank me personally for chatting with him, having him on my show. I was pretty impressed by that because you don't see that as much anymore. Now, you're liable to get an email, could have sent a text, but no, he took the time to handwrite a note thanking me for spending some time with him. That leaves an impression. I remember that, and I still have it. I don't remember 99.999% of the texts I get because I delete them after I read them, and they're gone. But I had this in my hand, and I still have it. As a reminder that every now and then we should all be doing that. Send a little personal note to someone, thanking them for something they did for you. It means so much. You know, it's like the old theory of a handmade gift means more to someone at Christmas than something you went out and just bought off the shelf, because you put some personal effort into it. So it's a changing world. We have to take a break. By the way, this hour and the Art Lewis Show is sponsored by Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty. For all of your residential and commercial real estate needs, give her a call at 295-7713. That's 989-295-7713. Tell you more about her toward the end of the hour and more about Pinnacle Realty and the point where they're located. We're going to take a break, come back, and then we will get to our phones here on WSGW.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do, but you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh and Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
I am so ready to go back to work.
I just need a chance.
So where do I start?
Mid-Michigan Work. Driver, another employee, number on a spreadsheet, or a team member driving growth. friend to the face. If you want to be a valued member of a family that's growing and prospering every day, then Northern Logistics may be for you. Northern Logistics is now hiring CDLA truck drivers, both local and OTR. Northern Logistics offers great benefits, a strong emphasis on safety, 6-month bonuses, and a 401k match. Apply at norloworld.com. That's NORLO world.com.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened lower. Fed Chair Jerome Powell says inflation has been larger and lasting longer than anticipated. His comments are in prepared remarks for the Senate Banking Committee. Interest rates on Treasury bonds have moved higher. The Case-Shiller study says home prices rose 19.9% in July, over a year ago. Ford CEO Jim Farley says it took the company a year to select the locations for its new electric F-150 Lightning assembly plant and 3 battery facilities in Kentucky.
We didn't want to have weather events like flooding and hurricanes, but the availability of skilled labor in high quantity was one of the key reasons why we're building these sites where they are.
Ford is hiring 11,000 people. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Coselda, invested in you.
Guys, Untuckit agrees it's finally time. Time to update our closets with new clothes we actually want to wear. Time to think about going back to the office or choosing a new way to work. Time to enjoy the best of fall, like long walks in the park and hot coffee on a brisk day. And that means it's time to look sharp and feel comfortable all day with Untuckit. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Discover the perfect fitting shirt today at untuckit.com. Use promo code TIME for 20% off your first purchase at untuckit.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Though many people are doing okay today, there are still many people experiencing difficulties in the community. Here is a reminder for you of a free community resource you are encouraged to use if you find yourself needing extra support. 211 is a public service number for all non-emergency needs. You can call it anytime, any day, and an agent will connect you with whatever it is you're looking for. Food, financial assistance, housing support, clothing, transportation. All you need to do is dial 211 or text your zip code to 898-211 to get connected. Looking for a COVID testing location? Need help paying your bills? Is food in short supply for your family? Dial 211 to talk to a compassionate, highly trained agent who is ready to connect you with local resources. It is a free and confidential service to help you overcome obstacles of all sizes. This message is brought to you by the Foundation because it takes a village for good forever.
They give it to Haskins. Haskins rolls over left guard. Touchdown, Michigan!
It's a Big Ten road test as the Michigan Wolverines visit the Wisconsin Badgers Saturday morning at 11 a.m. on 790 News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show. Back to our phones in Saginaw. We find John waiting for us this morning. John, good morning.
Good morning, Arthur. I'm calling you 2 days in a row here.
That's right. You were real short yesterday because I didn't have any time.
Well, you're picking some good topics. So far as the post office is concerned, we know that it was founded in our country by Benjamin Franklin, who was a very creative thinker. Two areas that come to my mind that should be seriously considered. The first thing, which would be a sort of a seldom thought of idea, and that is that the post office should be forward thinking and they should be part of the current scene as it is. And as you mentioned, there are a lot of people using electronic communication, but the post office isn't participating or profiting from that. And we know that there is eminent domain where the government confiscates property which is privately held, or they take over certain businesses that are of importance to the country. And I would think old Ben would seriously consider taking over Facebook as part of the now you're not going to go for it. But I'll give you first of all, I'll mention it, and the second thing I'll say is it is a type of communication that the post office should find a way to participate in, whether it's the purchase of Facebook outright, whether it is creation of their own service that competes with it.
Well, that would be better.
The other thing that comes to my mind is, and I don't know what the current status of it is. Certainly, the teachers have had to go to different type of a pension system, which was very expensive to maintain as it was. And I think that there are a lot of people who are government employees who have a very nice pension awaiting them after so many years of service, and that may have to be modified. I don't think that a driver or some of the other parcel services get such a nice retirement package, and that I'm sure is quite a cost to the Postal Service.
Well, that's one of the sticking points is what Congress makes the Postal Service do in terms of affordability of that. And it has a negative impact on the postal system. However, it should be pointed out, defined benefits pension plans are pretty much going to be a thing of the past in the not too distant future. I mean, they are in many places now. Many municipalities and governmental bodies have gone to 401ks, and they, in their new negotiations with their various labor groups, they negotiate out of defined benefits.
Right. I do want to give credit where credit is due, and that is on cold, snowy days, on rainy days, the carriers come through on foot, and I give them all the credit in the world for there was a poem at one time that went through the snow and sleet and all of that people used to recite and memorize, but I feel sorry for the carriers in difficult weather. It's not any dogs and
it's true
that goes after them, but by the same token, as you say, the type of pension plans that we have had in the past are changing, and if it has to become a self-funded type of pension or a matching pension, I think that the Postal Service certainly it's a voting bloc, and Congress is loath to try and make any changes because of the votes will come against them. But at some point, we have to look at being competitive with the market in general, and I don't think that Congress should delay on that. They should stand up and be counted.
Well, it's going back to your discussion about nationalizing a business. It's one thing, for example, in time of conflict, to nationalize the steel industry or do something of that nature, where you need the product because it's part of the war effort, part of your survival. The country could get along fine without Facebook. If we didn't have Facebook, what would we do? Well, we'd have to communicate some other way.
Well,
it's not like the country's survival is dependent on Facebook.
But the government grabs all kinds of things, and the profit that Zuckerberg sticks in his pocket would be of a big help to the Postal Service if they had it. And
but if you start taking companies because you want their profit, is that America? Is that the America we know?
Well, we wouldn't say we want their profit. We want their traffic.
Well, you just did.
All right, those are just two mentions on your topic this morning.
All right, John.
It's a very interesting one.
Good. Glad you called. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye-bye. No, it's let's be honest. Makes for interesting conversation and speculation and all of that, but that's not reality. Although with some of the proposals out there right now from the progressive side of the Democratic Party, you begin to wonder if that wouldn't be something they'd think about. Let's talk for a minute about Ford and their big announcement today. You've heard it in the news. An $11 billion investment going to Kentucky and Tennessee And it's going to be for battery plants and an assembly plant for electric vehicles. And they chose, after a year of looking, those two areas for a number of reasons, an incentive package that the states put forward, and also what they say was the availability of high-tech labor. It's going to be interesting to see if they can actually find 11,000 high-tech people in those two plants. Or as Veronica Horn said this morning, how many people will move from other states like ours to go down there? But it is a movement toward self-sufficiency in the car business. That is to say, they're no longer going to depend on foreign sources for their batteries. They're going to make them here. Now, the sooner they learn that about chips in their vehicles, the better off we'll all be. Errol is in Saginaw. Let's say good morning to Errol. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. You think the price of turkeys are getting a little high, do you?
According to Dave this morning, yeah, out of sight.
Oh, I understand that John Madden was working on turkeys that had 4 legs. So,
or more.
You know, and of course, down the road from you, if you head towards Gratiot, I've seen about 8 or 10 turkey vultures out there. Would they taste the same?
No, there's a bunch of wild turkeys running around here too that live around here.
Oh yeah, well, I think some people feed them. So anyway.
Oh, they do.
Anyways, that's my comic act for today. I'm staying away from all the other fun stuff that's out there for today.
Well,
I bet you'd enjoy the turkey stuff.
Absolutely. All right, Errol.
Talk to you.
Thanks. Bye-bye. That opens the lines for you here on WSGW, a wide-ranging conversation. Love to do it. And we'll be back with more of it after these notes.
This is Rachel from the SVRC Marketplace, located at 203 South Washington. Fall is officially here, and with chilly weather upon us, warm up inside with some of your American favorites, global flavors, sweet treats, and retail small businesses. Our farmers under our pavilion offer fresh goodies, pumpkins galore. Our all-year-round indoor market still remains Saginaw's favorites. What's that you say? New businesses are coming. We welcome Cop King and Bling & Jewels Boutique. Warm up inside. Place open Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. RC Cornhole fundraiser tournament on October 9th with a $500 first prize winner. And come for some free family fun to our annual Halloween event on October 29th. Check us out on our Facebook page for all upcoming events. We thank you for the continued support of our small businesses. Remember to shop local, eat local, support small business, and we'll see you at the market.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for the Frankenmuth Corn Maze. You are going to get a family pack for only it's usually $36, but you are getting it half off. The family pack covers 2 adults and 2 children for entry. The Frankenmuth Corn Maze is open from September 24th through October 31st. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now and snag your deal. RocketGrabPlus.com.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents.
Don't you just love the smell of old books? Shh, this is a library. Sorry, ma'am. We're looking for a book titled Liberty Mutual Customizes Your Car Insurance so you only pay for what you need. I don't think we carry that, but... He really does devour literature. Please leave. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar. Made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Yeah, if you didn't get the vaccine, you shouldn't get treatment.
The Sean Hannity Show.
Well, you're overweight. We're not going to treat you. Well, you're a junkie. We're not going to treat you.
On WSGW.
We're just going to make decisions based on choices that people make in their life and say, we'll treat you. No room for you. Sorry. Nope, you use drugs. Get out of here.
Sean Hannity.
Maybe when they're getting treatment, you offer them help.
Weekdays at 3.
You just can't make this up.
On 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
And we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show. Back to our phones. Dan is in Bay City. Dan, good morning.
Good morning, Art. One thing in Bay County is a semiconductor producer who's already out there on, I believe it's Mackinac Road, and they're already making semiconductors, and they're basically doing them for the auto companies. And they expect, I think, by the time they expand and get running, about 4 jobs.
Well, are they making the semiconductors or are they making the components of the semiconductor? I don't know that they make the semiconductor itself.
Well, I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I think it's raw material.
I know that it's going to be pretty good. And then,
Absolutely.
The Hemlock semiconductor, from what I understand, is going to almost double their workforce.
Right, but they don't make, understand they don't make semiconductors. They make the material from which they make semiconductors and flat screens and all of the, the electric panels and everything. But, we're still dependent overseas. Yeah, they're expanding, but
they're expanding and things are, those are some pretty good jobs for the area.
they are good jobs for the area. No doubt about that. Yeah, absolutely.
They pay around $70,000 a year, I think, if I'm not mistaken anyway. So, there's some good things going on.
Well, absolutely. You're absolutely right about that. There are positives going on, but the overview of the national picture is not quite as rosy. It may get rosier because as the auto industry, for example, discovers, they don't want to be dependent on foreign sources for their batteries for their electric vehicles. Maybe they'll wake up and discover they don't want to be dependent on chip suppliers overseas either.
Well, that's what these things are heading toward. That's old technology too, which is not good. The bigger Qualcomms and all those guys, they've been trying to force the auto companies into a little bit more modern, I guess, or higher paying for the chip companies. But the old technology is what the car companies are. It makes for a problem there.
Well, the biggest problem is cost. They don't want to pay the higher price for the chips. And, let's be honest. But the reality is, do they not want to pay the higher price for the chips, or would they rather have parking lots full of vehicles nobody can drive? So, at some point in time, they have to come to realization. And we, too, as buyers, have to realize that eventually the price for that thing is going to go up, whatever it is.
Well, unfortunately, that's on everything, isn't it?
Just about. This day and age.
Okay, well, I guess we're just going to have to survive like we always have, right, Art?
We always do. But you know what? Dan, though? Keep the good news in the forefront. There's nothing wrong with saying, look, there is good news out there, because there is some.
There is, and we have we actually have classes and programs that train battery type people and in the semiconductor, like out of Delta, I believe.
Yeah, and they have all kinds of classes tailored to the industries of this area, because they work with the industries. You want to be a chemical process operator? They got a course for you, and Dow probably has a job for you, or some of the other companies. So yeah, there's plenty of opportunity. There's plenty of training. Just got to convince people to take advantage of it.
I mean, I don't know why the Ford and GM or whoever went down there didn't realize that, unless they just don't like this area anymore. But
Well, no, listen, here's I mean, Veronica pointed this out. Veronica Horn from the Saginaw Chamber pointed it out at 9:00. They were also given a rather substantial incentive package.
Yeah.
So, it's more than just people. All right.
Who's going to pay for that down there?
Well,
Taxpayers?
they're taxpayers, sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess maybe they'll have to come into some reality of,
Well, it's a balancing act, isn't it? Is it worth the incentive to get the jobs which produce tax revenue? So in the long run, you have to look at it and say, is this the wisest thing to do? Well, yeah, it is in a way, because those incentives bring in more than what it costs to do. Now, that's assuming that the companies you give the incentives to live up to their end of the bargain, obviously.
Right.
That's the other side of the coin.
Right.
If you promise me 100 jobs and you give me 2, that's not so good. If you promise me 100 jobs, you give me 150, that's great. So it all depends on, it's a quid pro quo, and one hand washes the other, and risk reward, it all comes into play.
Yeah, very well. All right, Art, you have a good day there.
You too, Dan. Thanks. Appreciate it.
The fight.
Have a good day. Bye-bye now. No, I mean, Dan makes a good point, because sometimes we get so wrapped up in what's negative out there. We talked about increased food prices, automobile prices, you name it, fuel prices, gasoline. You tend to forget that there are positives happening in your own area. You may not always see it for the big picture, but he's right. That new semiconductor facility is being expanded. We have a giant, the third leading producer in the world, is Hemlock Semiconductor, right in our own backyard. We have all of these things. And they're looking to expand. That's positive news for the area. But then you get hit between the eyes when Ford says, yeah, we're going to Kentucky and Tennessee, forget Michigan. Now, Ford also said they're committed to their Michigan facilities, and they are building some facilities, expanding facilities. So it's not like they're abandoning the state. It's just that the state lost out on these 2 potential deals in Kentucky and Tennessee, 4 plants total, which would have been nice. Anyhow, let's take a break. And again, lines open for you, whatever you'd like to chat about.
I wasn't able to sleep in my own bed. Because of my wife's struggles with CPAP, I had to move out to the couch, out to the recliner, out to my son's bunk bed. That is, until she started using Inspire, a sleep apnea treatment that works inside her body with just the click of a remote.
Get back to sleeping in your own bed with Inspire. No mask, no hose, just sleep. To learn more, visit InspireSleep.com. Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at InspireSleep.com.
You can tell it's fall, huh?
Yeah, cooler days.
And leaves changing color.
Beautiful.
Yeah, kitchen's become... Wait, what was that?
Well, fall's the perfect time to upgrade our kitchen.
What makes you say that?
Our kitchen and the Wilsons.
Theirs is pretty spectacular. Who'd they hire again?
Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery.
Let Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center help you create the perfect space for your home, from imagination to completion. Go to premierkitchenandbathgallery.com to get started. Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom. Get inspired.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents.
And Doug. Don't you just love the smell of old books? Shh, this is a library. Sorry, ma'am. We're looking for a book titled Liberty. Your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need. I don't think we carry that, but check nonfiction. He really does devour literature. Please leave. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Oh, according to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. That means that 82% of you listening right now will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. If you're hiring, 82% of you will recall that ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier. And 82% of you will note that you can try ZipRecruiter for free today, but you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/find. 82% of you will keep in mind finds qualified people for your job and actively invites them to apply.
Scott, is that you? Who are you talking to?
82% of you will also know that I live with my mom. But the most important thing to note is that ZipRecruiter works. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Will you be part of the 82% who remember where you can try ZipRecruiter for free? It's ZipRecruiter.com/find. Again, that exclusive link is ZipRecruiter.com/find. That's ZipRecruiter.com/find.
News coverage.
Code Red.
They border in chaos.
We will lead not just with the example of our power.
Gabby Petito remains were discovered.
The hunt for Brian Laundrie. This third shot.
Done with Afghanistan.
To vote on the infrastructure bill.
The bill is passed.
News around the clock.
Checks and balances. Protect our elections. The reckless cutting and spending.
News coverage.
To raising the debt ceiling.
Impacts of a potential shutdown.
News on WSGW.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show.
Just to be safe, Biden should ban pommel horses too.
And My Little Ponies. And whip them good.
Yes. Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW, the Art Lewis Show. Okay, I saved this for toward the end of the program because I didn't want it to be the whole program, but got to bring it up. I would be remiss if I didn't. Yesterday, the Senate Republicans blocked a funding bill as Congress scrambled to avoid a government shutdown. It would have opened debate on a continuing resolution that would have funded the government through December and raised the debt ceiling through December. At the same time, the president's leading agenda item, his $3.5 trillion family and climate and all those things package, he calls it infrastructure, is being discussed in the House and the Senate. And it's a true political standoff. And it's an interesting standoff because the Republicans don't have to do anything. If they stay unified against, all they have to do is sit back and watch the Democratic Party implode between the centrists and the progressives. And that is exactly what's happening. The progressives want the entire enchilada, no modifications. But they wanted more, as we learned last week from Senator Sanders. The compromise for them was $3.5 trillion. The centrists, like Joe Manchin, aren't going to go anywhere near $3.5 trillion. He said he could vote for half of it. And the battle goes on. Now, Pelosi was going to have a vote on the hard infrastructure bill. That's the $1.2 trillion bill yesterday, but she decided not to because she didn't have the votes and she wasn't going to bring anything to the floor that didn't have the votes. And why doesn't she have the votes? Progressives said they will not vote for the infrastructure package if they don't get their $3.5 trillion other package. In the meantime, something most Americans want to see happen, the hard infrastructure package that would take care of roads, bridges, and the like, languishes because they want to link the two together. And as I've said before, Democrats are in a hurry to get this done. They can read the tea leaves. They know that historically in midterm elections, the party in power loses power, and they haven't got a lot of power to lose. Think about this. If in the 2022 midterm elections, the Democrats lose just one Senate seat, just one, they lose control of the Senate. Schumer is out. And in the House, it's just a few. If they lost control of the House, Pelosi would be out. 2022, in my way of thinking, having been doing what I do for a lot of years and watching a lot of elections, I think 2022 is going to be one of the most interesting elections I've ever had the privilege of observing. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how the power shifts, if it shifts. Now, personally, if I were a betting man on politics, which is not a wise bet, I don't, I would think there will be a change in at least one of the branches of Congress, probably the Senate, at least, which would then produce a deadlocked Congress. Well, guess what? We have a deadlocked Congress now. Even with one party having the majority in both chambers. And understand, of course, in the Senate, the only reason the Democrats have majority is because the vice president gets to break ties. It's a 50-50 chamber. Talk about a house divided. That's it. So the question is, are the American people, on the one hand, going to get fed up with government? Or are they going to put their hand out, palm up, and want more from government? You can see both scenarios. If they get fed up with the bickering and nothing happens, they might take it out on those who are currently in power. If, on the other hand, they want all of the goodies that Congress has promised that the progressives want to give them, they may vote to keep them in power and try and push it forward. I think it's going to be a very, very, very interesting year to be a political observer. And, by the way, a political participant. Don't sit back and let somebody else vote for you. Midterms do not get the highest turnouts. Yet they should, because many times they are more important than the presidential year. So start thinking about it. What do you want from your government? And how much are you willing to pay for it? Because those are the questions you should be thinking about when you go to the poll and cast your vote for whomever you feel will do the best job for you. All right, we're going to take a break. Come back. We will close out this hour of the Art Lewis Show after these notes. And let me remind you again that our program is brought to you by Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty at The Point, M46 and M47 in Saginaw. And new to The Point is Cafe 476, your new coffee stop with a bird's eye view. Serving espresso, coffee, tea, bubbles, lemonades, smoothies, frozen yogurt, and more. Plus, on the smoothie list is the Art Lewis smoothie. Yes, I have one named after me. Chocolate, banana, and pineapple. It is delicious. Also, baked goods made fresh and local. Donuts, pastries, danishes, just to name a few. Food items added daily, like the cherry almond chicken salad croissant. Like them on Facebook, and you get all the info on new menu items. Stop into the new Cafe 476 at The Point, where M46 and M47 meet off Gratiot in Saginaw. And for all your real estate needs, residential or commercial, give Linda Shepard a call at Pinnacle Realty, 989-295-7713. Back to close out after these notes.
There's a reason why Crane's L&M Appliance Center has been serving the Tri-City area since 1956. Hi, I'm Eric Crane. Customer satisfaction. From the moment you step into my store, you'll know you get knowledgeable support on the best brands with the best possible prices. We help you find the best product that fits your needs and budget. Whether it's new, reconditioned, or scratch and dent, we are committed to give you the best service before, during, and after the sale. Crane's L&M Appliance Center, 3260 Bay Road in Saginaw, where we want to earn your business.
The WSGW Morning Team Show.
WSW online poll, vaccinations and your younger children. Announcement indicating its COVID-19 vaccine is safe and generates a robust immune response in a clinical trial of kids aged 5 to 11. It's a trial including more than 2,200 children to be submitted to the Food and Drug Administration and other health regulators as soon as possible. Approval is expected, just don't know when. Poll question though, what are your plans for your 5 to 11-year-old children once this vaccine is approved? Will you have your children vaccinated immediately? Will you wait for more data after the vaccine is available, but eventually do plan to have your children vaccinated? Or do you not plan to have your children vaccinated at this time? Your decision is now for what you're doing with your younger children. You want to know what you're going to do? By going to the poll box. You scroll on the homepage, find that poll box, click on it, and you can make your votes that way.
The Morning Team Show, weekdays 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
Check out the WSGW Sports Broadcast page on WSGW.com. Want to know when and which WSGW station you can hear the Tigers, Red Wings, Michigan football and basketball, Saginaw Spirit hockey, and SVSU football? Click on the Sports Broadcast box on WSGW.com.
All right, that'll do it for the Art Lewis Show for today. Thanks for joining us. Coming up on Focus, Pit and Balcony will be the subject of our focus today, talking about an upcoming production of Murder on the Orient Express. CBS News is next, then the local report. We'll talk to you right after that. We'll be back to talk to you on Focus.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Facet Wealth.
I'm Steve Kathan. Pentagon leaders are defending the U.S. exit from Afghanistan at a Senate hearing. CBS's Cammie McCormick.
Admitted mistakes were made. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin on the early days of the evacuation.
Well, let's be clear. Those first 2 days were difficult.
And from Joint Chiefs Chairman General Mark Milley.
It is clear, it is obvious, the war in Afghanistan did not end on the terms we wanted, with the Taliban now in power in Kabul.
But senators also want to know what's ahead. Republican James Inhofe said there is no plan and no reliable partners now on the ground.
A Republican move to block a bill to keep government running and allow federal borrowing set the stage for a possible shutdown at the end of the week. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen tells lawmakers
it is imperative that Congress address the debt limit. If not, our current estimate is the Treasury will likely exhaust its extraordinary measures by October 18th.
Pfizer says it submitted trial data to the government about its COVID-19 vaccine for 5 to 11-year-olds and will seek emergency use authorization in weeks. Infectious disease expert Dr. William Schaffner.
We trust the Food and Drug Administration will act with reasonable thoroughness and promptness, and it might well be that we can start vaccinating 5 through 11-year-olds sometime this fall already. That would be great.
New York State says new statistics indicate a jump in vaccinations for healthcare workers ahead of yesterday's deadline to get a shot or face possible dismissal. A Georgia man already sentenced to life in prison for fatally shooting 4 people at a spa outside Atlanta pleaded not guilty today to 4 other fatal shootings. Prosecutors want the death penalty for 22-year-old Robert Aaron Long. In Canada, 19 of 39 workers trapped in an Ontario mine since an entrance shaft was blocked on Sunday have been brought out to safety.
Felt good to get back to surface. Like it wasn't bad underground. We were in a refuge. We didn't have too much food or anything, but
It was a nice little walk coming out anyways.
In a Facebook docu-series, gymnast Simone Biles opens up about her decision to skip several events at the Tokyo Olympics to deal with mental health issues.
I feel like I had a lot of courage. I know a lot of people look down upon it, but it's like I gave the team the best chance at medaling, and it's like 5 years, and I put myself first for once.
Biles told New York Magazine she should have quit the sport way before heading to Tokyo. Wall Street, the Dow is down 410 points. This is CBS News.
Facet Wealth, personalized and affordable financial planning for everyday Americans. No wealth or financial advice for every stage of your life.
While you're comfortable inside your home or business, the weather takes a toll on your roof. Wind, rain, hail, UV rays, and the heat of the sun cause premature failure of your shingles. Everyone loves to save money. If you have an aging roof, don't spend a lot of money on replacement. Get a Roof Max shingle treatment and get some peace of mind. Get more life for less money. Guaranteed with Roof Max, a powerful fusion of science and nature. Call Ben today at 859-6751.
Oh, wow. I love what you've done to your kitchen.
Thanks. We did new countertops and a new sink and faucet.
Oh, it looks great. Did you do all the work yourself?
Oh, no. We worked with the remodeling department at Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. They helped us select the right choice for us from their wide selection of countertops. We love it. We shopped around, too. Reamer had the best selection and the best pricing.
So, what's your next project?
Well, since we love our new kitchen, we plan to do the bathroom next.
Oh, wow.
This time, we'll go straight to Reamer. You should see all the new things they have for the bathroom.
Visit the showroom at Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning to see countertop displays of Cambria quartz and Corian, kitchen sinks made of Corian, stainless steel, quartz, swanstone, and cast iron, plus a large display of kitchen faucets from several manufacturers. One is perfect for your lifestyle and budget. Shop local. Shop Reamer. Go to reamerplumbing.com.
Any way you spell it, Reamer means quality. RocketGrabPlus.com.
The days of paying full price are over. And at RocketGrabPlus.com, we are always here to give you the deals that you need. You can get tons of half-off deals going on right now from Fat Matt's Barbecue, Joyce's Purple Palette, Kitchen Kings, Third Gen Tire and Service Center, Woody's Hot Dogs, King's Fish and more, tanning and salon. Half off? Yeah, it's true. And it's all at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom. This is WSGW News.
Partly sunny skies and 58 degrees at 11:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Bircha. Around 2 o'clock this morning, investigators from the State Police Saginaw Major Case Unit responded to a shooting in the 1400 block of Park Street. Police say unknown suspects shot at a residence from the street, striking 2 people, one of which was a 6-month-old child. Both victims were taken to a local hospital for treatment. Their conditions are unknown at this time. Police are asking anyone with information about the shooting to call the Major Case Unit at 759-1289 or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-422-JAIL to remain anonymous. A $300,000 addition is coming to the Saginaw Japanese Cultural. Rick Antonio has more.
A new utility facility separate from the tea house will be adding restrooms, artifact storage, a multi-purpose workshop classroom, and a pavilion for public and private events. City Manager Tim Morellis says the fundraising for the expansion is not only a reflection of the hard work put in by Cultural Center officials, but the initiative the surrounding community takes when it wants something done. All funds needed for design and construction for the approximately 800 square foot addition were raised by the tea house board, but following its completion, any long-term cost will be the city's responsibility like the rest of the Japanese Cultural Center property. Rick Antonio, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
It's National Drive Electric Week, and Consumers Energy is encouraging current and future electric vehicle owners to enroll a new program. The Bring Your Own Charger program rewards electric vehicle owners financially for charging their vehicles overnight at home. Charging a vehicle at night costs less as electricity rates are lower overnight than in the daytime, especially in the summer when peak daytime rates increase to help meet the demand of keeping homes cool. All customers with electric vehicles will be eligible, no matter whether owners buy their own charger or receive it with the vehicle. For more information about the program, visit bringyourown.charger.com/consumersenergy. WSGW News Time 11:07.
Are you ready for retirement?
Well, Jason and Carl Kreiderman with Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a new book that can help make retiring easier. In Empower Your Retirement, they talk about how a well thought out financial plan can make the difference between just surviving and thriving in retirement. Using everyday language, this book explores how a simple process can help you cover all the bases of your financial life, including how taxes can affect your retirement. Finances are too important to leave to chance. Empower Your Retirement is written to help you understand the must-dos to prepare for the retirement you desire. Get your free copy of Empower Your Retirement by calling 989-848-1188. That's 989-848-1188. And for more on retirement planning, tune into Jason and Carl's radio show, Your Financial Empower Hour, every Sunday morning at 8. Firm provides insurance services, investment advisory services offered by Great Lakes Investment Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor firm in the state of Michigan. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
WSGW News Time, 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up. Gretchen Whitmer has issued a proclamation declaring September 26th through October 2nd as Manufacturing Week to recognize Michigan's more than 11,000 unique manufacturing firms, which account for over 600,000 jobs and more than $98 billion of total output annually. Michigan is home to hundreds of thousands of hardworking residents who are dedicated to making Michigan home to countless innovative products we rely on every day, according to the governor's office. The storied manufacturing industry plays a critical role in the My New Economy plan that's focused on supporting small businesses, creating better paying jobs, and investing in communities. For the first time in 6 years, the Drug Enforcement Administration has issued a public safety warning on the increase of fake prescription pills containing fentanyl and methamphetamines. Here's Rob Mason with this report.
The counterfeit pills are made in criminal drug network labs and marketed as legitimate prescription pills. DEA officials say the U.S. is facing an unprecedented crisis of overdose deaths fueled by illegally manufactured fentanyl and methamphetamine. These counterfeit pills contain dangerous and extremely addictive drugs that are more lethal and more accessible than ever before. The DEA says the fake pills are killing unsuspecting rates.
There's a new push in Michigan to award the state's 15 electoral votes to the presidential candidate who wins the national popular vote if enough other states also join the pact under a 2022 ballot initiative. The petition drive, announced by former top leaders in both major political parties, roughly 340,000 signatures will be needed. 15 states and Washington, D.C. have enacted laws supporting the national popular vote. Twice this century, the loser of the popular vote has become president. WSGW News Time, 11:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW forecast. Mostly sunny skies here for today with a high into the upper 60s. Northeast winds around 5 to 10 miles per hour. And for tonight, partly cloudy sky conditions will see a low around 47. Wednesday, sunshine, high of 72 degrees. Thursday, plenty of blue skies and sun with a high around 69. Friday, sunshine, high of 71 degrees. And by Saturday, sunshine, high around 73. Sunday, partial sunshine develops, a high of 69. Monday, partly sunny, high of 65. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast. 7.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WS. Online, WSGW.com.
Well, good morning and welcome. Welcome to another edition of Focus here on WSGW. And today we focus on one of the leading arts organizations in our area, Pit and Balcony. We say good morning to the managing director, Amy Spatafor. Amy, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art. How are you?
We're doing well, thanks. All right, so I guess we need to start with the health of Pit and Balcony after the pandemic or during the pandemic. How did you survive?
Well, we managed to produce a full season last year, despite or kind of against all odds. We had a lot of support in the community, both physically, people coming through the doors, and financially. I think there were a lot of people who were looking to help, and we certainly appreciate that. So we were able to have 5 full shows last season to both live and virtual audiences. Almost every single one of the shows had to get changed from what we originally programmed, but we were happy to kind of pivot and move along as we needed to, so we could provide that to the community. So we're doing okay. I think we're doing all right.
And so here we are, about to jump into another season, and
the 90th
90th
consecutive season.
Wow. Well, gee, you have this rather significant start this weekend. Murder on the Orient Express. Tell us about this.
So it's the Agatha Christie story that many people are familiar with. Hercule Poirot finds himself on the Orient Express, where there has and a whole cast of characters that seem to be from all over the world, and it's a classic whodunit. And I think that the most exciting thing about it is both that the familiar story is there, that Ken Ludwig, the playwright, stuck really true to Christie's original work. But really, it's the volunteer talent that we have in the region that is just blows me away. We auditioned a number of people, and you always kind of get really surprised when somebody can do a great dialect from somewhere else, so I think that, and those are always hard to do. That stuff is hard to do, and I think that we've got a great cast of volunteer actors, and you know how that is, right?
Yeah, I do. So you're telling me that that it's difficult to be a Hercule Poirot, and so I would not be able to do it. I'll tell you that. I had
I think Belgian is one of those dialects we don't hear a lot.
You don't hear a lot of it. No, I remember having to play it against Sam, and I was the Humphrey Bogart character, and just learning to talk like Bogart was a chore. So
right.
I got enough trouble talking like me, So, so how many characters are in this? How many volunteers did it take to put this on stage?
Okay, well, there are 10 people on stage, and as you know, the people on stage are give up about 100 hours of their life to rehearse this show. But then we have 6 people backstage. We've got a couple of volunteers that are running lights and sound. We have a number of volunteers who build our sets for every single show. So I would say for this particular show, we're right around 50 people. Volunteers or just, very poorly paid.
And this is not a musical.
No, this is not a musical.
So you didn't have to worry about that aspect of it anyway.
Right. We've got, that will quickly double the number of people who are involved in the production.
Yeah. It runs this weekend, the 1st through the 3rd, and again, the 8th through the 10th. So you're doing what, 6 shows?
We're doing 6 shows. Yep. Fridays and Saturdays are evening performances at 7:30, and Sundays are matinees at 3.
All right, hang on. I've got to take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk more about Pit and Balcony and the season with Amy Spatafor, the managing director, right after these notes.
Find your style with Patriot Lighting from Menards. Choose from more than 1,000 outdoor lighting options. Patriot Lighting comes in a variety of unique styles and finishes to help give your home a fresh, updated look. Save today with 11% off all Patriot Lighting. Start saving with 11% off at Menards. Good through Saturday, October 2nd. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Attorney Joe Cordell. New school, new job, new home. Change is hard and can leave you feeling isolated. And divorce delivers one of life's hardest blows. The relationships you counted on are suddenly gone. But you don't have to walk through this alone. For more than 30 years, Cordell & Cordell has guided men through the challenges of divorce. You're not alone. Call Cordell & Cordell.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys. Offices in Troy and NR.com.
If you've got a small business, you know there's nothing more valuable than your time. So why waste it at the post office? Stamps.com makes it easy to mail and ship right from your computer. No special equipment required. Whether you're an office sending invoices, a side hustle Etsy shop, or a full-blown warehouse shipping out orders, Stamps.com will make your life easier. You'll even get exclusive discounts on postage and shipping from USPS and UPS. And their new Rate Advisor tool lets you compare shipping rates across carriers so you always find the best option. Save time and money with Stamps.com. There's no risk, and when you go to Stamps, offer code FOCUS, you'll receive a 4-week free trial plus free postage and a digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com. Click on the microphone at the top and enter code FOCUS. That's Stamps.com, promo code FOCUS. Stamps.com. Never go to the post office again.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home. News, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Can we dream of a world without Alzheimer's and other dementia? You can help raise awareness and funds for Alzheimer's care, support, and research by joining the Midland Walk to End Alzheimer's on October 9th. Register online at alz.org/walk.
This is the Stone Specialist Studios, 100.5 News Radio WSGW, 790 News Radio.
Talking to Amy Spatafor, she is the managing director of Pit and Balcony Theater in Saginaw. And, Amy, to do anything in the nonprofit world, you're always looking for sponsors, and you've got a pretty good list of sponsors this year, don't you?
Yeah, we do. We're pretty grateful to our community that there are so many, not only individuals but businesses that are willing to support the arts.
And it takes that support, doesn't it? I mean, you really couldn't exist without it.
Oh no, yeah, we couldn't exist without it. We could not survive on ticket sales alone. And so if it weren't for, businesses like Alpha Media and Art Sample and, the Sugar Shack, which is a newly opened business in downtown Saginaw, sponsor community programs like the ones at Pit and Balcony, I think that we wouldn't be able to keep doing what we do.
But you do sell tickets, so let's talk about tickets, not just for the Orient Express, but for the season. Let's start with the season. Are there season ticket packages?
There are. We do a Flex Pass for our season ticket holders. So you can purchase 3, 4, or 5 tickets and use them however you like. And anytime you purchase a Flex Pass, you get a discount price. So all of our tickets are $20 a piece. And then depending on which Flex Pass package somebody chooses, they get a discount on each of their tickets. And the nice thing about the Flex Pass, we find, is that people can use them however they want throughout the season. They never lose any kind of value because you can use all of the tickets on one show or spread them out among a number of shows. And so all of those are available on our website, pitandbalconytheater.com, and theater is with an R-E, spelled the proper way.
Every theater in this area must be proper because they all do it. Yeah. It's amazing. When you do that, do you have your choice of seats, or the Flex Pass doesn't?
For the most part, you can have your choice of seats. There are some benefits to being a Flex Pass holder. So our Flex Pass holders from last year get first dibs on their seats this year. So there's some seats that are already spoken for, but for the most part, you get your choice on seats. And Deb in the box office should win an award for customer service. Really, she's amazing, and she has helped everyone kind of navigate the switch into the Flex Pass through COVID and everything that's going on. She's she's been excellent.
And there really aren't any
You can
bad
call
seats.
Deb if you have any questions.
Yeah, there really aren't any bad seats.
No, it's a nice, small, intimate space. We've only got 280 seats, and so you can't really. There's not a bad seat in the house.
So let's talk about the building because it's been around a while. What kind of shape is the theater in itself?
Well, it is a 70-something-year-old building. Has only ever been pit and balcony. So, there are the kinds of things that happen to 70-year-old balcony. We have a mostly, there's just me and Deb on the payroll. So sometimes things can get away from us. But I think that we have, it's a gem. We've got a great structure, good bones. We've got a great place there that was built by volunteers back in 1948, which is remarkable to me. Yeah, yep. They got the bones, kind of the general structure put up by a contractor, and the rest of it was done by volunteers.
Served well then all these years.
Yes.
So you mentioned the 90th season of Pit and Balcony. And that's got to be one of the older theater companies around.
Yeah, I think that we, this being our 90th consecutive season, I think that we are up there. I know Bay City Players celebrated 100 years not too long ago. So, we've got some great old community theater in the region.
Has there ever been talk of collaborations where the same play or musical rotates from Pit and Balcony to Bay City Players to Midland Center?
Well, I'm sure you remember Mamma Mia just a couple years ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that, I think, is the closest we've gotten to a regional tour, I would say. And I think that actually spurred on a lot of talk of further collaborations and what we can do. I don't know that we'll see anything on the scale of Mamma Mia for a while. That was a pretty big undertaking for all of us. But I do think that once, as we kind of sink back into what normal looks like and figure out where each of, I think that you will see more collaborative efforts between the three of us.
And speaking of normal, everything this season is in-house as opposed to virtual. Is that right?
Everything is in-house. We are allowed to have full capacity, so that's what we're hoping for. As it is right now, we're following the CDC guidelines as far as COVID and masks and vaccinations go. Obviously, if you are more comfortable wearing a mask, no matter your vaccination status, you're welcome to. Everyone is kind of encouraged to. Anyone who is unvaccinated is expected to wear a mask. Just kind of following those CDC guidelines. And if they change, so will our policies. But right now, we've got health and safety in mind, and everything is kind of moving forward as usual. And the most common question we've gotten is if we've got concessions back. And we will have concessions back this year.
Yeah,
So
good point.
you can count on your popcorn and your candy.
All right.
So it's going to feel pretty normal.
So let's end up telling people where they can get more information and maybe even buy tickets.
And balconytheatre.com. And the box office phone number is 989-754-6587. Deb can help you out there. And our box office is open an hour before curtain on the nights of the shows. So Friday, Saturday, this weekend and next, the box office will be open at 6:30. And on Sundays, the box office will be open at 2. So if you want to risk it and just walk up, feel free. But we have had quite a demand as we've been able to open again. So I highly recommend you get online and get your tickets as soon as possible.
Murder on the Orient Express this weekend and next at Pit and Balcony. Amy, thanks for being with us today. We appreciate it.
Much. I appreciate it.
Have a good one. Bye-bye now.
Thanks, you too. Bye.
Amy Spatafor, Managing Director of Pit and Balcony. We'll take time out, come back and close out and move on to the Farm Report right after these notes.
I wasn't able to sleep in my own bed. Because of my wife's struggles with CPAP, I had to move out to the couch, out to the recliner, out to my son's bunk bed. That is until she started using Inspire, a sleep apnea treatment that works inside her body with just the click of a remote.
Get back to sleeping in your own bed with Inspire. No mask, no hose, just sleep. To learn more, visit inspiresleep.com. Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for the Frankenmuth Corn Maze. You are going to get a family pack for only $18. It's usually $36, but you are getting it half off. The family pack covers 2 adults and 2 children for entry. The Frankenmuth Corn Maze is open from September 24th through October 31st. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now and snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
New school, new job, new home. Change is hard and can leave you feeling isolated. And divorce delivers one of life's hardest blows. The relationships you counted on are suddenly gone. But you don't have to walk through this alone. For more than 30 years, Cordell & Cordell has guided men through the challenges of divorce. You're not alone. Call Cordell & Cordell.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
Michigan Wolverines football is on WSGW.
Give it to Haskins. Left guard. That's on Haskins. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Michigan. Langen gets it. Then he doesn't get it. He stopped short. It'll be Michigan taking over. And he will be stopped by Colson. And that should do it.
Michigan prevailed in its Big Ten opener to remain undefeated. But the first road test awaits for the number 14 Wolverines, who visit the Wisconsin Badgers this Saturday with coverage starting at 11 a.m. on 790 News Radio WSGW. Kickoff is at noon. Michigan football is brought to you by Forward Energy, Lingle Equipment Company in Saginaw, Schaefer Beer Line, Ram Truck in Frankenmuth, Big E's Sports Grill, and Wolf Files, Ace Hardware in Saginaw. Michigan visits Wisconsin live this Saturday morning at 11 on 790 News Radio WSGW.
It's Michigan football on WSGW.
All right, that'll do it for Focus, sponsored by RoofMax, the safe, proven, and affordable alternative to expensive asphalt shingle roof replacement. Find out about RoofMax online at roofmax.com or call Ben at 859-6751. That's RoofMax, spelled with 2 X's. That'll do it for Focus. We'll be back with more, but right now we head over to the farm desk, Terry Henney's Farm Show. That comes along right after these notes.
Fall, huh?
Yeah, cooler days.
Yeah, leaves changing color.
Kitchens becoming beautiful.
Yeah, kitchens become